In this episode, auto attacks and targeting mechanics. In terms of combat, the absolute most basic mechanic we can discuss has to be auto attacks and targeting. Without knowing how to do either of these, you would most likely never be able to succeed in any MMORPG. Like in all the previous episodes, I'll say that Guild Wars 2 handles both of these mechanics differently compared to other games in the same genre. Before we talk about auto attacks, let's first determine what an auto attack is for most games. WoWWiki has a great definition for this. An auto attack is any kind of player or pet attack that will repeat automatically unless interrupted by the player or some other event. Right, so basically it's a special kind of ability that you don't control, and it will initiate once you engage in combat. So how then is Guild Wars 2 different? It's different in that you can determine which skill is used for your auto attack. But before we talk about that, you should understand how skill bars work in Guild Wars 2. I've already covered this in another video. You should make sure to check it out if you aren't familiar with Guild Wars 2 skill bars. The first important note about auto attacks is that you do not set a skill to auto attack, rather you set the skill bar slot to auto attack. In other words, if you want the ability on your second slot to auto attack, you can do that. However, you can only have one skill set to auto attack at a time. To set a slot to auto attack, you simply hold control and right click on the desired slot. Additionally, you can remove a skill from auto attack by doing the same. With this method, you can decide to play without an auto attack if you so desire. It's worth noting that the first ability on any weapon set is usually going to be the most ideal auto attack to have set. The reason for this is that the first ability of any weapon set is a skill that has no cooldown, and in some cases is also part of a chain of attacks, which means by having one set to auto attack, you'll quickly chain a set of attacks together. Targeting in Guild Wars 2 isn't so extremely different from other games, but there are several things that you should know which will enable you to be a lot more effective as a Guild Wars 2 player. Your current target, like in many other games, can be seen at the top center of your screen. Unless you are moving, some of your attacks will position your character towards your target. With that being said, if you're having a hard time hitting your target, it's best just to stand still for a moment and attack, which will face you in the direction of your target. Most skills can be used even if you're out of range of your target. Doing so will still place them on cooldown. Keep this in mind when positioning yourself in combat, as it is critical that you're not out of range when using abilities with longer cooldowns. You can set a target for your team or group by using Ctrl+T by default. This sets a target that your group can switch to by using a hotkey that they desire. Additionally, there are other options available for targeting closest enemy, next enemy, previous enemy, as well as a few others. Thanks for watching this episode of Learn to Adapt. If you'd like to see more of these episodes as they're released, make sure to subscribe using the button on the top right side of the screen. If you'd like to see some of the previous episodes in the series, you can do so by using the on-screen annotations.